A grand welcome to the session. Today we are going to deal with the topic Essays of Francis Bacon. And before moving on to the topic, let's have a brief discussion about the biographical details of Francis Bacon. And we are going to deal with the biographical details through MCQs. We are not going deep into the details, but all the important points from the exam point of view will be covered here. So don't skip the video, watch the video till the end, and Francis Bacon is going to fetch you 1 mark in the coming exam. Let's see the first question. Francis Bacon's general concept of essay was borrowed from dash. Michael Montaigne. Michael Montaigne is known as the father of essays, and Francis Bacon is known as the father of English essays. Now, the second question is very important. Francis Bacon defined his essays as dispersed meditation, and he also called his essays receptacle for detached thoughts, So this is how Francis Bacon defined his own essays. Now let's move on to the third question. Father of empiricism. Who is known as the father of empiricism? Francis Bacon is known as the father of empiricism. It's because he argued for the possibility of scientific knowledge based only upon inductive reasoning and careful observation of events in nature. And the word empiricism, it comes from the Greek word empiria, which means experience. So it's all about, empiricism is all about experience and observation and inductive reasoning too. Now next question is related to the third one. Bacon's scientific method is called inductive method, or it is also known as Baconian method. Inductive method or Baconian method. So it's also about observing the fact, interpreting the natural phenomena. All these things are included in the Baconian method. Next question. New Atlantis of Francis Bacon is modelled on dash. New Atlantis of Francis Bacon is modelled upon Thomas More's Utopia. This question is of importance because Thomas More's Utopia is there in our syllabus. Now let's see the subtitle of Bacon's essays. It's also important. What is the subtitle of Bacon's essays? Counsels, Civil and Moral. Counsels, Civil and Moral. Now, which were the 3 editions of Bacon's essays? Okay, 3 editions were there. In the first edition, that was in 1597, 10 essays were included, and in the second edition, that was in 1612, 38 essays were there. And in the third edition, it was in 1625, 58 essays were included. We all are familiar with Bacon's essays. Most of us had learned in degree and PG classes. Now, Bacon's essays can be divided into dash main classes. That is the question here. We can divide Bacon's essays into 3 main classes. We had seen moral and religious essays, and similarly domestic topics are also there, and he also dealt with political topics. Okay, so Bacon's essays can be divided into 3 main classes: moral, religious, domestic and political. Now the next question. Salmon's House is a fictional institution described in which work of Bacon? It is described in the New Atlantis. It is in real it is Solomon's House. Okay. Bensalem, now an island mentioned in the work the New Atlantis. Okay, so New Atlantis, we have 2 points to remember. Bensalem, an island is mentioned there, and Solomon's House, it's a fictional institution. So it is also mentioned in the New Atlantis. Bacon fashioned his Latin works based on the concept of insaturatio magna, or we can say the great insaturation, the great renewal. Now, next is a fact. Bacon died of pneumonia while studying the use of snow in the preservation of meat. Okay, so he died of pneumonia while studying the use of snow in the preservation of meat. Now, who said English would one day play the bankrupt with the books? This is the statement of Francis Bacon. English would one day play the bankrupt with books. Novum Organum is a notable work of Dash. Novum Organum is a notable work of Francis Bacon. Next question is very important. Who called Bacon the wisest, the brightest, and the meanest of all mankind? It is none other than the wicked wasp of Twickenham, Alexander Pope. Bacon's famous work, Dash, is dedicated to King James. Bacon's work, The Advancement of Learning, is dedicated to King James. Now, the next question. Aphoristic style is associated with Dash. Aphoristic style is associated with Francis Bacon. When we talk about aphoristic style, it is compact, it is epigrammatic and condensed. Okay, so the epigrammatic and terseness of the sentences make them easily remembered and quotable also. Most of us know the quotes of Francis Bacon. We always remember, it is there in our mind forever now. So it's because of the aphoristic style that he follows. Who called Francis Bacon young Lord Keeper? It is Queen Elizabeth. Who said Latin would last long as the books last? It is the statement of Francis Bacon. Latin would last long as the books last. Who is known for the epigrammatic brevity in his essays? It is none other than Francis Bacon. Who called Bacon's style an index of eminence of the modern world? It is a comment made by L.C. Knights on Bacon's style. Who wrote Bacon's biography? It is William Rowley. It is R-A-W. Please make correction in the spelling. Who called Bacon the first essayist as he remains for the sheer mass and weight of the genius? It is Hugh Walker. Hugh Walker made this comment. Who said English would one day play bankrupt with books? It is Francis Bacon. And he also said English is a vulgar language and will remain so forever. It is also a comment made by Francis Bacon. Now, wife of Francis Bacon, Alice Barnham. Which work of Bacon is another Utopia? We had seen a similar question in an earlier slide, that New Atlantis was modeled upon Thomas More's Utopia. So answer is New Atlantis. Now, before moving on to the 28th question, let's see the 29th question. What are the four idols of mind? Idols of mind, it's a doctrine which was proposed by Francis Bacon. So let's see which are the idols of the mind. The four idols are idols of tribe, idols of cave, idols of marketplace, idols of the theater. And one of the idol is mentioned here. And in this question, it is asked who coined this phrase and in which work do you find this? It is in Novum Organum. Okay, Novum Organum. We can see this doctrine of four idols of mind proposed by Francis Bacon. Now the next question, it is a Latin phrase, but we often quote this sentence in English. Scientia potentia est. It is a Latin aphorism attributed to Francis Bacon. The meaning of this Latin aphorism is knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Scientia potentia est. I hope all of you had enjoyed this session. Almost all the questions based on Francis Bacon is dealt in this session. So watch the video completely so that you don't miss any question. And and don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button if you like the video. So see you next time with a new video. Thank you so much.